not too long ago, I tackled the coffee bar, changed the style of it, and thrifted some items for it. This time around though, we're tackling the other half of my kitchen. So I'm going to start off with the small projects first, mainly addressing these bulkheads. At this point in time, we're not taking them down, but I figured I could do some kind of design element to at least make it look a little nicer. On this side right here, I'm going to be putting up a peg rack. On this side, I think I'm going to be putting a shelf. So both projects have been things that I've already done in my home before, but this time around, I'll show you the process. So let's get started with those DIYs.
I never thought all the love songs would start coming true. I never knew how to write them till the day I met you. I never learned how to dance, but I'm moving to the groove. And it's thanks to you, 'cause you make me feel brand new. Exactly, I started counting down the hours till I get to see your face. So hard to be apart, 'cause all this time I've wanted was just someone to hold and to come home to and to talk about my day. All this time I wanted you.
All right, looks pretty good. And while the paint dries, seems like a perfect time to go thrifting.
All this time I've wondered how I managed to live most of my life sleeping at night without you by my side. And all this time I've wondered, how did I stop my days from long before this? Now I can't just walk out the door without feeling your kiss. And I don't know how else to say it. Guess I never got this far before. And I don't know how else to say it. So let me put it this way. I never thought all the love songs would start coming true. I never knew how to write them till the day I met you. I never learned how to dance, but I'm moving to the groove. And it's thanks to you, 'cause you make me feel brand new.
Okay, so technically I went thrifting on 2 different days. However, I'm going to break this into 2 different hauls. For this video, we're going to be focusing solely on the peg rack. Might I say, quite challenging to find things that can hang on hooks, but I did find some things. So I want to start with things that I already have that actually haven't been a part of a thrift haul yet. So first up is this tin container. I actually really love the style of it. It definitely has some wear to it. You can see that it's dented in quite a few different areas, but honestly, I like that look and prefer it over just everything being sleek and clean lined. So for both the peg and the shelf, I wanted to have lightweight things, particularly for the reason that they're going to be hanging up high and I don't want it to hit people in the head. And although I do trust the fact that I drilled into studs and it won't fall, this can was actually perfect for this. Pretty confident it's aluminum material too. Prior to this, I really didn't have any idea of where to put this, but I do believe this is definitely one that's going to make it on the peg rack. I'd say a decent piece for what I'm going for. Okay, next up are measuring spoons. I picked up quite a few measuring spoons when the flea markets were open, but I really love the ornate detailing on these. And honestly, given its age, given its condition, these were definitely going to be decor type measuring spoons anyways. They are currently held together with what appears to be like a bread bag tie. So I will have to get something to connect them properly, but really happy that I picked these up. I think they're great. 4 measuring spoons all together, the smallest one being 1/4 of a teaspoon and the largest being obviously a tablespoon. And these I do remember the price of. They were only $1. I don't know, so far I'm making out pretty good with decorating this peg rack for pretty cheap. Okay, next up are 2 different size whisks. So in my mind, I had the vision of kind of like different sizes of things, And I did pick up the baskets that I showed in last week's thrift haul. This time around though, I wanted actual kitchen utensils. So I managed to find these two and I thought they would be perfect. I mean, these are probably very inexpensive to begin with, whatever store they were originally sold in, but I picked these up for $1.99. And so I am happy I picked these up. I think these are going to be a great addition. Following up with another utensil, we have this slotted wooden spoon right here. Love my wood spoons. I have plenty of them. However, currently don't have any that actually have hook at the end, surprisingly enough. So when I found this one, I was like, okay, we're gonna make this work. This is definitely not a vintage piece. While it would have been great to find vintage kitchen utensils this particular day, unfortunately, it was slim pickings. Also needed items that actually could hook on this peg rack, but that's okay because I'm going to make it work. So I feel pretty confident between this and previous hauls, we're gonna make it work. But this one was $2.99, which I thought was a pretty fair price. It is a wooden spoon, and it was something I could actually hook on the peg rack, so that's a win for me. So next up is this little piece right here. I'm gonna show this in this haul because of the fact originally I thought of putting it on the hook, but then I smartened up and thought, well, maybe I shouldn't put something as delicate and as easily breakable as this on a hook. So instead, I'll probably put this on the shelf when I build that next week. But I really love the cream color. I love the overall shape of it. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And the floral print as well is really beautiful. I try as much as possible to stay with neutrals, but every so often, something catches your eye, and this was one of those things that caught my eye. It just felt like a vintage piece. It felt like it needed its moment, so I felt like it was worth it to take it home with me. Kind of surprised by the price of $5.99, but like I said, I did like it so much, so in the end, it was worth it to me. Now, I gave myself options when it came to baskets. I picked up baskets in last week's haul. I do have some other baskets hanging around here. My hope was that I could find vintage baskets that kind of had that flat basket style. Unfortunately, those are not ones that I can find too often. But I did find this one. I really loved the overall style of it and the look of it. The color is really what I love the most about it. So herein lies the problem. Essentially this basket's not going to work on the peg rack. Given the fact that it's not a flat back basket, I feel like it would probably fall off quite a bit. But this is the type of basket where I'm sure I could find another place for it and utilize it in a different way. It was only $1.99, so I thought it was a good grab for that price. Still really happy I picked it up. Okay, next up is this brass candlestick. I picked it up because it has a handle. This is another one where originally I thought of putting it on the peg rack, but have since changed my mind. It's just a really cute overall shape and I had to pick it up for that reason. But this one was $3.99 for brass. I think that's actually pretty good for a brass candlestick. In my opinion, even better. So I was happy to pick this one up. I think it's going to be great on the shelf though. Okay, and last but not least, is this basket right here. So as I mentioned earlier, I gave myself options when it came to baskets. So this one is not your typical style basket. It's more of a basket tray. I really love the style of it. It's clearly a vintage style piece, which I love. The coloring is really beautiful too, and the weaving I absolutely love. It's definitely not in perfect condition, but I was willing to forego perfection for what I had in mind for my kitchen. This handle is broken on one side. Honestly, when I saw that, it didn't bother me too much. My original intention was to hang it like this on the peg rack, and so I only need one working handle for that. Thankfully, this one is still intact. When I went up to the register, the cashier saw that it was broken and actually gave me $1 off for it, which was actually really nice because I would have paid the price that it was anyways. It was originally marked as $2.99, and so I got it for $1.99. Honestly, the way I was seeing it, I was like, it's not completely off, therefore I could easily just like super glue it or something like that. But as I mentioned before, I was going to hang it on the peg rack, but last week when I was styling other things, I actually used this and I liked the way that I used it. So I'm gonna keep this on my coffee bar, but that does not mean down the line, somewhere in time, I'll actually change it. But $1.99 for a very cute vintage basket tray, I think it was a good call. So that's what we're working with for the peg rack. I also have things from previous thrift hauls, such as my copper watering can, which I'm so excited. I raced to finish this peg rack solely for that purpose. But for now, let's check it out. So it is done, it's looking good. I have 19 pegs in total, but I do want to space everything out as I'm decorating it. So let's get to the fun part. So I grabbed the items I thrifted along with some other items that I found in the house, including this piece. I forgot about it. When did I thrift you? But it's finally dry and I'm ready to style this, so let's get styling. So one little project down with so many more to go, but I'm so excited this is finished. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.